Hello there and welcome back to the CHAP'S Guide. I'm Ash, the curator of this channel, which aims to provide you life skills, tips and advice that help you on your journey to being the best chap that you can be. Now today we're back in the CHAP'S kitchen, as you can see, because a couple of weeks ago I did a video on cooking a ham for a dinner party, which seems to have been rather well received. So today we're back in the kitchen for another very quick recipe. Now today I'm going to be talking about buckwheat pancakes, a personal favourite of mine, something which I always use as a bit of a treat after I've taken a little bit of exercise. Now it's Saturday morning and it's early December in the UK, and I have just come back from doing a park run in a local park. So that's a 5k run, starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. Good way of getting yourself into the day with a bit of exercise. And it was really cold and a bit blustery this morning, so I really feel like I need a bit of a treat. So buckwheat pancakes is the direction that I'm going to go. So I've got everything I need here, a little bit of a recipe and all the bits and pieces, and I'm just going to bring the camera in a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing, and I'm looking forward to tucking into this in a moment. Okay, so here we are, buckwheat pancakes. Interestingly, buckwheat is not related to wheat in any way, so it is actually gluten-free for those who are interested in that element of the diet. And for me, I like the buckwheat pancakes because they're somewhat different to normal pancakes. Particularly today I'm using whole grain buckwheat. Now buckwheat isn't the easiest thing to find in the world. You can get it from most health food shops. You can even buy it from Amazon. And if I can find it, I'll put a link for some buckwheat below in the description box. But, you know, as I say, I bought this from a health food shop, and, you know, it's relatively easy to get hold of from that side, but it's yet to be on the shelves in sort of mainstream supermarkets. So still not widely available, but I think it's worth sourcing it out. It's totally different to normal flour. It's got a sort of a different texture, a bit rougher. I think it holds a bit more fibre. You know, it's very healthy for you. I know it's got lots of beneficial fibre. It's good for a healthy heart. It's great for keeping a healthy digestive tract as well. So it's good for your gut. And it's great to take just after you've done some exercise, because there's lots of nice carbohydrates in here which are good for your belly and just help replenish you if you've used a lot of energy. So let's get started. Well, the star of the show, as you can imagine, is in fact good old buckwheat. And for this recipe, which is purely for one person, no more than that, it is 110 grams of whole grain buckwheat, as I said. Simple as that. Great stuff and easy to work with as well. So obviously we're going to form a batter now with that. But before we do that, I'm just going to add some other things. So I like cinnamon. So cinnamon is something I add to a lot of recipes. Things like porridge in the morning. It just adds a bit of warmth. You know, it's a warming flavour, but it reminds me of the winter and Christmas and that time of year. So it brings, you know, a bit of joy to the diet as well. Only takes a couple of grams in there. Quick squirt, 1 or 2 squirts of that, and that nicely flavour it, give it a little bit of colour as well actually, which is very nice. And just to make sure that it does what we want it to do, I am going to pour in no more than half a teaspoon of baking powder, which just really helps it do its job in rising and holding the air, which, you know, is important for a pancake. And just to offset some of that sweetness and some of those other flavours, a pinch of salt, no more than that, just a little pinch of salt. There we go, we get a nice balance. And as you can see, now our ingredients, our dry ingredients are all there. I'm just going to give them a quick little mix up, make sure that they're all combined, which is ideal for us. That's what we want, so it's all nicely together. And there we go, that's the dry ingredients. Now, as with all batters, there needs to be some moisture, some wet ingredients to bind it all together. And in this case, it is skim milk. Now it's 150 millilitres of milk. I'm using skimmed because I'm obviously doing the healthy thing here with the buckwheat, but you can put whatever you prefer. You can put semi-skimmed or full fat, whatever your preference is, whether you use other forms of alternative milks, you know, oat milk, things like that. Up to you. I'm just using skimmed, that's what I'm using today. And to that, I'm going to add a medium-sized egg. Now, I say medium, you know, if there's 2 of you and you're having, you know, you're doubling the portion size that I'm talking about here, just go for a large egg. The egg is the binding agent in this. That's its primary purpose. So I'm going to crack the egg, if I can, without making a mess anywhere. Perfect. Yolk and all, it all goes in. And there we go. Get rid of that. And now all I need to do is to beat that egg up into the milk. Just mix it all together. You know, we don't need to whisk it or anything like that. This is no more than getting it ready to go and join the dry ingredients, which will be rather nice. There we go. That's it. Doesn't have to be rocket science. Get rid of that. Now let's get the dry ingredients back here. And obviously what I want to do is combine these as simply as possible. So I'm going to make a little hole in the middle of my dry ingredients and add about half, a little bit more perhaps, of my wet ingredients. And I'm now going to just mix that in nicely, get a good batter going. You'll find, or I certainly find, that when I use the buckwheat, it's more absorbent than normal flour. You know, obviously it's a very dry substance, but the batter does tend to be rather thick, which I think lends quite well to what we're trying to achieve here. You know, we want quite a thick, strong, thick pancake, and the batter will be the key to that. So you want it to be a little bit on the thick side. If it's too thick for you, you know, just add a little bit of extra water, a little bit of extra milk. Again, as I would say before, when I've talked about cookery in the past, this is not an exact science, right? We're making a pancake. We're not creating an equation to put man on the moon. There is room for flexibility here. So that's all we're trying to do. That's it. So I'm just going to keep giving that a quick stir, getting it all mixed in. Now, I picked up this recipe last year. In fact, I was in Holland. I was in The Hague on a business meeting. I was traveling with an associate. And being a bit of a cheapskate, I booked a hotel, but I hadn't paid the extra to have breakfast at the hotel. So come breakfast time, we were a bit hungry, so we went for a walk around the streets of The Hague, which is a fantastic city, incidentally, in the Netherlands, if you've never been. And we came across a vegan restaurant. Now, I'm not a vegan personally, so I went in there with a bit of trepidation, and on the menu I saw there were these buckwheat pancakes, vegan version, so obviously not featuring the egg that I've just showed you. And I have to say, I ordered it, and it was probably one of the best breakfasts I'd had for a long time. And there we go, it's as simple as that. So that is the ingredients done for our pancake. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to let that sit for 5 to 10 minutes, primarily just to let the ingredients settle down and to let that baking powder do its work and start to add, you know, the air into that ingredient so that it's nice and ready for us to cook it. And then we'll just pop over behind you to the stove to do the important bit. Okay, so 10 minutes have now passed. I've allowed my batter just time to settle and to, you know, properly aerate, let the baking powder do its work. Now it's time to do the cooking. So all I've got here, a simple, very basic, ordinary everyday omelette pan. A frying pan of any sort will do in reality. And let's get that warming up. There we go. Gas cooker. Now, to make sure that it doesn't stick, obviously it's a non-stick pan. But just to make sure that it's not going to give me any unpleasant surprises, I'm going to give it a couple of squirts of this 1 cal light frying squirty thing, just to make sure that it settles on it. And also, standing by, I've got a spatula of any kind, doesn't really matter, because obviously we're going to have to flip the pancake. I'm not going to try and flip the pancake fully up in the air and catch it, as is done by all these great chefs, because I'm not a great chef. I'm just a guy who wants a pancake for brunch, having been out for a walk, or a run rather. So I've just let the pan warming up, and now I am going to take my batter, and all I'm going to do, because I'm going to make one big pancake out of this, I am going to let it all land on the pan, using the spatula to make sure that we don't waste any, leave any behind. Leave no man behind, that's my plan. There we go, I think we got most of that. Fantastic. Now, in the tradition of all good pancakes, we've just got to let it do its thing and cook. That one has filled that pancake, that omelette pan, obviously depending on the size that you want to make. It's entirely up to you how much you pour in, how much you don't. If you like small pancakes, you can make 2 or 3 out of the same amount. I just want one big pancake to shove on my plate so I can get on with my brunch, because I am feeling rather hungry, so I don't want to hang around. It cooks relatively quickly. You've just got to be alert to make sure that it doesn't burn, so keep your eye on it. I can already see that some air bubbles are starting to come through, which gives me a sort of idea that it is started to cook from underneath. And that's great, because that's what I want to see. I'll start to see it sort of change colour around the edges, and then I'll know that it's just about time to get him flipped over. Okay, so he's had about 2 minutes now cooking on the one side, and I can see that it's changing colour. I've got air bubbles coming through from underneath, and now is the moment that I'm going to try and flip him over without any great tragedy. The secret, I guess, I'm going to use, well, whilst I've got the pancake up on my little spatula, couple more squirts underneath so it doesn't get stuck when I flip him over, and I'm going to use the pan to help me out there. Perfect. Got some lovely colour on that side. It isn't going to take half so long on the other side because, as I say, the majority of the cooking has already been done. So I'm just going to let that do its business for another couple of minutes, and then it's almost time to do the best bit, and that's put the goodies on top, sit down and enjoy this hard-earned pancake, which, to be honest, has only taken a few minutes and a few ingredients to throw together for what will be a wonderful brunch. So we've had just a couple more minutes on that side. I'm now going to turn off the cooker because I can tell by the look and the smell of it that it's ready, and it is time to think about enjoying the fruits of our labours, if you can call it that. Not much of a labour involved there. So the pancake wonderfully hasn't stuck, so I'm just going to get that out nice and easy. I can tell it's lovely and solid. It's done its job wonderfully. And so there it is, our fantastic buckwheat pancake, which I'm just going to take over to the work counter and load it up with the things that I love to eat. Wow, here we are. Here is the product of our hard work. A wonderful, beautiful, hot buckwheat pancake. And this is the bit where you can let your imagination go wild. You can put whatever you like on your buckwheat pancake. So for me, I like to have a bit of fruit because, you know, we're doing the old healthy thing. Bit of fruit on there. Really gives you a boost. Keeps you nice and healthy as well, obviously. There we go, plenty of pancake and a bit of nuts as well. Some nuts on there. Anything you like is what, you know, the sort of depth of your imagination is the depth of what you can put on your pancake. So for me, lovely fruit, and always some wonderful maple syrup, which I think just really adds to it. Nice bit of sweetness on top of, you know, the cinnamon and everything else that we've added on there. So there it is, a fantastic buckwheat pancake. Taken me no more than sort of 10 minutes from beginning to end. It's a lovely meal. I'm going to sit down now, and this is the last that you're going to see of this buckwheat pancake, because it's going to be down my belly in about 2 minutes flat. So thanks for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed this very simple but elementary recipe for making buckwheat pancakes. I'll put the recipe down below in the description box, just so in case you didn't pick it up, you can follow it later. And I wish you all the very best in your endeavours in your chap's kitchen. I think I'll do some more recipes as I go along, because these seem to be quite popular with people, and they are simple and straightforward as well. So nothing complicated here, can be done in any kitchen. If you have enjoyed this video, please press the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any of the future content that I create, and do click the little bell, the notification icon, so that you know when we publish more material. So thanks for joining me today, and I'm surely you'll excuse me because I'm about to sit down and tuck into this wonderful pancake. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.